see USA?
Yeah, I did.
You want to talk about it?
Nah, not really.
Oh, okay. So no show?
Yeah, no show. No show, sorry.
So to start off the show, we have our Take 5 segment, where we have our top fives across the world of sports. This week, we are highlighting college basketball, the NFL, and Major League Baseball. So, Hook, would you like to start off?
No.
All right.
So to start off, I will go with my top 5 contenders to win the national championship in college basketball right now. We're in the Sweet 16, so my top 5 players with the teams with the best chance to hoist the trophy at tournament's end right now. At number 1, I got Alabama. They're the number 1 seed, only one of 2 1 seeds left still, so I got to go with them at number 1. At number 2, I got Creighton, amazing all-around roster, so I got them right under Alabama. Then I'm going with UConn, another great all-around roster. I think they got a really good shot. Behind them is the second 1 seed left in the Sweet 16. That is Houston. I think they're doing a great job so far this tournament, so they're at number 4. And at number 5, I got Arkansas because, once again, just an amazing all-around roster. They've been the underdogs all tournament long, so I'd like to see them go all the way.
Yeah, all great picks. So next up, we're going to move to the NFL, and I'm going to do my top 5 free agency signings, and then I'm going to throw a couple moves in there. So to start off, I got Derek Carr going to the Saints. I think the Saints needed a quarterback for the past couple of years since Drew Brees left, so I think he's the best fit for them. And then with another quarterback to free agency, Jimmy Garoppolo struggles with the 49ers, obviously with injury, but I think he can win games for the Raiders with Devontae Adams at wide receiver, and then Josh McDaniels being the new head coach over there. And then Orlando Brown Jr. for the Chiefs at left tackle or right tackle. He can play both sides. I think he's going to be a good corner piece for the next 4 years that he did sign there. And then Jesse Bates to Atlanta. I think Atlanta needs a couple more pieces in this draft to get a good team going. Hopefully they do draft a good quarterback, but Jesse Bates was definitely the top safety on the market this year. And then Javon Hargrave led the center of the Eagles defense to the Super Bowl last year, going to the 49ers, who they beat to get to the Super Bowl. So I just think that was one of the better signings, underrated signings for free agency.
So obviously, you got the free agent sightings. Your boys in blue, the Giants, first round exit, New York Giants.
We got Darren Waller. What do you guys do?
We got
Aaron Rodgers isn't even going there yet.
All right, so next up, we're going to move into Major League Baseball with the Cy Young Award, obviously one of the most prestigious awards in all of baseball. So I'm going to start off with the National League. You're going to follow with the American League. So starting off with the National League, at number 1, I got the Mets' latest signee, Justin Verlander, at number 1. Right behind him, coming off of a great rookie year, Spencer Strider for the Atlanta Braves. Behind him, at number 3, the Cy Young Award winner last year in 2022, Sandy Alcantara of the Miami Marlins. Behind him, Corbin Burns, a great pitcher from the Milwaukee Brewers. And at number 5, I got a bit of a interesting pick here. I'm going with Aaron Nola. He struggled most of his career, really, the past few years, but last year he showed some great signs of greatness, so I think he can really step things up, and he can be a Cy Young candidate this upcoming season. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with all your picks, but I'll move to the better side of the MLB with the American League. And I'm going to start off, I think you know who I was going with number 1, Garrett Cole, best pitcher in the American League, and my number 1 Cy Young candidate. Number 2, it's unfortunate putting him here, Jacob deGrom, but he's not with the Mets anymore. I got Shane Bieber at number 3, Shohei Ohtani, who just struck out Mike Trout for Japan.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. And then Lance Lynn at number 5.
It's interesting you went with Garrett Cole at number 1 over deGrom. I know he's not with the Mets anymore.
Yeah, deGrom's already hurt,
deGrom,
he's just
anti-deGrom bias is still there, huh?
Yeah, it has to be, bro. That's going to do it for our Take 5 segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll wrap things up with our show and the Ask the Analyst segment when we come back.
Now, to end off the show, we have a very special guest with us, our social media representative and Anthony Volpe appreciator, Marissa Toulis.
Thank you for having me.
And now to start off, we have our first topic. Obviously, unfortunately, our country, the United States of America, lost to Japan in the World Baseball Classic. But you know what? It's just a great thing to see for international players around the world. I know we've talked about this in past episodes, but Marissa, how do you feel about the rise in superstars from other countries outside of America in Major League Baseball?
I think it was great to see, and I think that the people really enjoyed it, and I think it was great to see them with familiar faces as well. I know when Yu Darvish went in last night, everyone was so happy and the people were going crazy, but I think the fans like seeing a little bit of a mix of both, and I think it's good.
Now, Rico, what are your opinions? I know you found it rigged, but go ahead. What do you think about it?
But I thought it was just like a really good thing to watch. I think it was more. You don't really see that in regular baseball in the first 162 games. You only see that playoff type atmosphere later on in the year in September and October. But even there's some statistics about how many people watched it. It was like 95% across Japan watched that game. I think it's a good thing to spread baseball. It's already been spread across most of the world, but just for more people to be interested in it is good.
And now moving into basketball, some top teams still in the March Madness tournament. Obviously, the only two number 1 seeds that have not gotten upset yet here in the Sweet 16, the Houston Cougars. I know you're happy about that, Marissa. And also in the number 1 spot, you got the Alabama Crimson Tide. Some other teams all around. You got UConn, you've got Creighton, you've got Arkansas. So who do you guys have winning it all at the end of the tournament?
Personally, I have Alabama winning it all. They were my number 1 since the beginning. I didn't even do a bracket this year, but I've been actually watching a couple of the games. So, I got Alabama going all the way.
What about you, Marissa?
I've said Houston since day one. I'm sticking loyal, but I wouldn't sell Arkansas short. Definitely not. I think that they can kind of pull through, but I'm going to go Houston all the way. I'm staying loyal to my team.
I think those are two great picks. I mean, both teams have some very strong forwards. Jarris Walker and Brandon Miller both make cases for the number 3 pick in this upcoming NBA draft. Obviously, Scoot Henderson and Victor Wembanyama kind of command those top 2 spots, but those 2 players are just so great. And Alabama and Houston both have amazing rosters all around them, so I agree with both of you, but I think you can't really sleep on Arkansas right now. They've kind of had a Cinderella-type story, obviously not as big as our boys in New Jersey, the Princeton Tigers, but, it's still Arkansas has been doing a great job, so if I had to take a pick other than Alabama or Houston, I got to go with them. And now moving into the NFL, so obviously Tom Brady just retired after this past season. Big news, it was like his 3rd time retiring. So who do you think? Obviously Patrick Mahomes has been seen as kind of the baby Brady to Tom Brady being his successor. So who do you think other than Mahomes can have that chance at becoming the next GOAT in the NFL?
Personally, the only guy that's now young that's been to a Super Bowl, and I think I'm going to say, is Jalen Hurts. He obviously in a Super Bowl in his first year, kind of with a good team, complete starter, and he brought him there. And I want to say Josh Allen really bad, but he just has never brought his team to a Super Bowl. So unfortunately, but Jalen Hurts could be the next GOAT.
I'm just really proud of you for giving props to an Eagles player.
Yeah,
that never happens. And Marissa, who do you think?
I'm gonna go on a limb and say Brock Purdy. I would say Josh Allen, but like Rico said, that he just, as a quarterback, you need to be the quarterback. You need to do it all. That's what now we use the definition of a quarterback as for the leader to hone in, and he has so many talented guys around him, and he's not able to do it. So I'm gonna go out and say Brock Purdy. I think he has so much talent, and there is so much potential for him, and I think he's got it.
Brock Purdy as the next Tom Brady might be the biggest sleeper pick we've heard on Rico and Hook. But look at Tom Brady's 6th-round draft pick. Didn't start the first 2 seasons of his career. Anything is really possible, but that is just an out-of-nowhere pick. And
he played JV football.
I kind of respect it. So next up, keeping with the NFL, we're going to finish off first-round exits. The New York Giants just traded for Darren Waller. Sorry, no, never. But Darren Waller just traded from the Las Vegas Raiders to the New York Giants. Rico, as a big New York Giants fan, unfortunately, how do you feel about this trade? Do you think they can have a very big improvement over the last season, or do you think it's kind of a small improvement and they need more pieces?
Unfortunately, I think it is just a small improvement for right now. I'm looking at receivers in the draft. I think there's a couple guys that they need to go out and get. I don't think that Paris Campbell and Darius Slayton and Isaiah Hodgins are going to cover that wide receiver spot, but I think Darren Waller is definitely going to be mixed in at wide receiver too. Daniel Bellinger, now going to a second year, is definitely more of a true tight end than Darren Waller. But I think it's definitely a good starting point for GM Joe Schoen.
And Marissa, what do you think about this pickup from the G-Men?
I think it is a small, slight improvement. The Giants definitely do need a lot of work, but I wouldn't count them out. I just think the media is a little hot on them. We kind of jumped the gun too fast, and with your Jets too. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think our New York team.
She said it.
Slow and steady improvement, and we can get there in the future. I'm not worried, but I think we're starting slow, and I think that's almost better than jumping and going right into it.
You heard it here first. first round exits New York Giants will not improve this upcoming season. And that'll do it for this week's episode.
Tune in next week for another episode of the #1 weekly sports talk show on Wayne Hills TV. I'm Marissa.
I'm Rico.
And I'm Hook. And this has been Rico and Hook.